Hola, bienvenidos a mi video. Mi nombre es Reese y yo soy de Texas, en la ciudad de Odessa. Tengo 20 años. Soy un estudiante de humanidades y mi especialidad es inglés. Me encantaría ser autora un día. Author. So Spanish is among the most widely spoken languages in the world, and it is the second most spoken language in the United States, which from a communication standpoint is a great incentive to want to learn the language to begin with, but to go a little bit further in depth. One of my research questions was, how does bilingual or multilingualism sort of open doors for people professionally or academically, or just in general, what are the most prominent benefits of it? And a really great answer that I found was from humanitarian author Olivia Nuri, who had said that studies have shown that bilinguals excel at tasks that require more divergent thinking, which divergent thinking is essentially a creative problem-solving process. It allows you to kind of see all the different angles and probabilities and outcomes. So that being a perk of language learning is a very good incentive as well. Another question that I had was, what's the most difficult aspect of learning a new language? And I came up with multiple journals and journal articles that just about unanimously say the same thing about somebody's mother tongue or first language being the most difficult kind of roadblock in the learning process. How your mother tongue just kind of bumbles the process and sort of hinders you from being able to conceptualize a new way of thinking, and instead just you try to relate everything back to what you know, but knowing that, you can sort of keep in mind that it's a new process and you may need to develop some new habits and may realize that there may not even be anything to relate the new stuff back to, so a good idea to get comfortable with. And then my last research question was more culture-based, but I was curious as to what the social culture was of Spanish students and like how they use media, and I think that's important to know because there's a lot of nuance, especially within media spaces. And I found out that Spain actually seems to be a lot less consumption-based in terms of internet content than we are in the US. And internet content would be like anything you sit there and scroll on, and they're a lot heavier on using media as sort of a messaging and like music listening means. So doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of the language learning process, but I thought it was an interesting cultural bit, that they're like a little less heavy on content generation and a little more about hobbies and just kind of sharing with each other. And I hope maybe we see a little bit more of that, and how it comes into play later on in the learning process when we get to talking more about culture. So with that, eso es todo por ahora. Gracias por su atención y buenas noches y adiós.